we have with us Gonçalo, who is the founder of NoCodery and is here today to talk to us about founding NoCodery and the kind of the state of the no-code ecosystem in general, and maybe even how you two can start your own no-code startup. So with that, Gonçalo, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself and what NoCodery is?
So as you said, I'm Gonçalo and I'm founder of NoCodery. NoCodery is learning framework or learning platform for no code, and also a job board. So you can also not only learn how to use no-code tools to build your software, but also you can monetize on those skills that you learn there to apply to jobs and get some gigs and money out of it.
So is NoCodery itself with no code?
No, it started as a no-code tool. Yeah, I know. It's kind of eat your own food. So yeah, we started to trying it out with Bubble, but it felt like Bubble at the beginning. Bubble it can be hard. It can be like a steep learning curve. So since me and my co-founder, because I'm not the only one working on NoCodery, we already have more than 10 years each of experience of coding. So it was easier for us to start something out of code instead of going no code. And that has been like one of the best decisions until now, because we've been growing a lot and we've been adding and removing features. So it makes us create features in a lean way instead of creating everything and then testing it out. So yeah, it's been good.
Was that like a decision process where you were thinking you would need more flexibility and so you went with no code, or was that more of a happy accident or matter of convenience?
It was a matter of convenience. Yeah, I tried the first version of it, just a job board. It was totally no code. We had just a front end, and it was on GitHub pages, and then we had an API tool that linked made REST API from the Sheets, Google Sheets, and we had like Zapier populating the job boards from the job offers from other job boards. So that was totally no code, and that was the first test that we did. After that, we needed like bots, and we needed some customizations, and we wanted to use a template that like an HTML CSS template that we already had, and we wanted to expand on that. So the time that we had to consume or to invest into creating the template again on a no-code tool and then creating all the backend in there, it was easier for us to just create the backend and go from there. So that was not a happy accident. We like talked a lot about that beforehand, and was a well-thought decision, and I don't regret it right now. So
very first version of NoCodery.
Well, the very first version was just the job board, just the list, and just post your job here and pay. I think the first one was like $150 a job post.
Did people pay from day one?
It was like, yeah.
What was
we got clients before we launched. We got clients on ads. We had ads. I already had thought about that beforehand, so I started pitching no code tools for advertisement options, and we got 2 of them beforehand, before the official launch. So we had just the MVP out, and like I was talking about on Twitter, like look at this and see if it's interesting, and getting people on board of it. And then I started pitching it around, and I can share that story. It's quite interesting, quite
yeah, please.
Helped a lot of people until now.
That'd be awesome if you could share that story.
Yeah. We have a question on the chat. I don't know if you should.
Do you want to first share the story since it's top of mind, and then circle back and get to the question? And also for anyone else watching that may have just joined us, please post questions in either the session or event chat, and we should get to them all.
Let me share. Yeah, I'm going to share on the. So this is all of the story. I've been slacking the last couple of months since June, but I have the updates, and it's grew a lot. It has grown a lot. Yeah, the one is the first, not the first one. The one that got a lot of people was how one tweet got me 2 companies, and that like shows the how you can like cold email or cold tweet. I've worked in different verticals already. So a couple of years ago, I was doing gaming reviews and gaming YouTube. There's a whole channel of that mine. And then with that, I learned that companies have a lot of money to invest in marketing and to show up in places like you have a job board or you have a platform or you have something. There will definitely be companies interested in paying to be there, to be seen. So I just leverage on that knowledge that I had, and just went to Twitter and just search for the no-code tools that I knew, like Adalo, Webflow, Builder, Bubble, Zapier, stuff like that, and just cold tweet them on the main page or the main Twitter account, and then either went through the main Twitter account and found the founder, speech them the same way, or found some like marketing person there or a community manager there or stuff like that. Because most of the times, like either the company doesn't answer you back because it's a company that doesn't most of the times doesn't look at the messages, but the founder will do, and especially in a growing environment like this one. The companies want to be in new places. They want to engage with the community. So if you have something new, it's a new engaging place to be. They don't want to be out of it. So it's a mix of fear of missing out, and they don't know if it's a good thing or not, if it's going to grow or not. So they will help you out. And then just send a cold email or a cold tweet with like $300, I think. It was like a year of a premium tool. So you'll have the tool will be on top. It will be shown on the main page and stuff like that. And then after that, after I got the first messages or first answers, I started reducing like 300 doesn't work. No one wants. Okay, so let's go with 200. Doesn't work. Let's go with 150. Okay, 150 is sold. They're done. Let's go with 150. All of them. So I tested it out with the first 10, and then first ones didn't go anywhere, and then the other ones went. And just like when the first one went to 150, just like go with it.
I think that's a much better strategy. Start high and then come down versus starting low and then trying to figure out eventually what the maximum is. So what did the launch? Go ahead.
If you send a price and they say yes at the first time, it's too low. You have to like double it next time. For the next one, you just double it.
Was there a lot of back and forth with like the individual advertisers on their price as well? Or once you got to that 150 price point, was it immediate yes?
It wasn't immediate yeses, but it was an easier conversations like, oh, okay, 150, what do I get with that? The other ones were no answer or just we're not interested, thanks. Or you just too new, we're not investing right now. And then most of the time, either companies or marketing people are more polite. So they're like, oh, we're not interested right now, maybe in the future, maybe if you have this and that, maybe if you just don't listen to that, just cut some of the price and pitch another one and just go with it and you'll get some.
Multiple people at the same company, or would you find a single person and just go after them?
I would pitch the founders or the marketing people. I would like 2, 3 maximum at max for a company.
So can you speak a bit to Pascal's question and how about the communities that helped NoCodery launched and maybe the NoCodery launch in general, what that looked like?
Yeah. So my strategy was just launch that soft launch. So go on Twitter. I have like 12K followers or something, so it helps a bit when you have a lot of followers. It helps to spread a bit the word at the beginning, and after that, just to see if people would stick around and ask questions or get some feedback. And after that, I would go, or I went to Indie Hackers and Product Hunt, not the launch on Product Hunt, but the community on Product Hunt. Like, because there's like every Monday a thing they make. It's like share your thing and give feedback to a new thing. So I'd share NoCodery there, and like,
where does that happen on Product Hunt?
There's like a community on the makers. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, it's a good place to test it out and see launch stuff that you're trying to get the pulse of it.
Stuff that's not quite ready for a full PH launch.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know they had that.
I don't know if it's on Ask or something.
I found we have, so I was just poking around on the website and I found discussions, which looks
that's around that, yeah. But I probably have a link for that direct. Like on every Monday they post something that the guy from the community posts there. I can give an example here.
That's a good tip. So how did you build an audience of like 10,000 Twitter users to begin with? So that's definitely a big leg up.
Yeah, it is. So it's a lot of years on that. It's like maybe 11 already. I was, when I learned how Twitter function on how Twitter works when I went to YC. I was lucky enough to be on a startup that went through YC and was at the same time with Product Hunt. I think it was summer 2014. I think it was that. So 6 years ago. And that's when I learned how Twitter works. It's like a giant worldwide party where you can introduce yourself to introduce yourself to anyone and ask questions to anyone. So you just need not to be shy. So you need to be the outgoing person, not bothering one. It's like outgoing is like, hey, I have this thing. What do you think? And like everyone's going to be open to give you something or give you like at least like or a retweet or something. Don't ask for retweets. Don't ask for likes. Just be someone that participates on that huge party. Like if you're in a party and someone like sneezes, you just say, God bless you, right? Or bless you.
Right.
Be that person. Be helpful. Be there. But like when you answer something on Twitter, if it's a random person, just answer like you would answer your mom or your grandma. It's like, be polite, be a right person. Don't be a troll, an internet troll. So that's how you build a community or an audience of 12K. It's like I would go around and like follow interesting people that I wanted to follow or follow people that said stuff that I liked. It's like, oh, I like this guy that shared this movie. Okay, let's talk with him or share something. Or it's an ongoing thing where you learn who's around and don't try to get to the 12K. Don't try to get followers. Just be a nice person. That's how you build. And then just like retweet, give. It's like I don't like to quote this guy because I don't like Gary Vee, but then he has a point on the jab hook. It's like give a lot first before you ask for something back. And if you give a lot, people from the heart, it's not waiting for something. It's like just give away. Just be someone that gives away. Like treat them like as a family. Give away. Like if you ask me something, or like when I found you out on Twitter, it's like, oh, this guy. Okay, cool. What do you want? What do you have? Okay. Do you want to share this? Okay, no problem. On a no-code community or something, or you have an event. Okay, sounds cool. I'll give you my retweet. It has what it has. So those are my tips.
When you're reaching out to someone first time on Twitter, especially if you don't have a lot of followers already, do you like at them and you slipping into the DMs, or is there like, what's the Twitter kit there?
I found easier to go if you wanted someone to notice you, don't go and add them. Go at their page or their profile, see what they're looking for, what they like. Then go to something that's like well commented or doesn't, or either if it's well commented or has a lot of comments, you can just go there and share a different view. If you share a different point of view, and it doesn't have to agree with him or doesn't have to be super different, just a point of view that's like, oh, it doesn't like see this or see that, or I would like to share this part, or I would like to share my point here. That will help because it's going to be different. You won't be a troll, you won't be an yes man that goes there, yes, I love you, share my thing and stuff like that. Be interesting, like start a conversation like, oh, I don't agree with that because this and this and that. And if he goes back with you to you, cool. If it doesn't go back to you, just follow this line, just next one, and just if it's interesting. First of all, if you follow someone that's like a famous person or a well-known person, like say Gary Vee, right? If I go just to Gary Vee's Twitter account, it's like, at Gary Vee, please share this, it won't share anything, first of all. If I go through their tweets and say something like, I love that, I love your stuff, it's just gonna give me a like. It's like, okay, you like me, I'll thank you, or whatever. I got a retweet for him because I found something that was wrong on something that he made. It's like just pointing it out. It's like, I know what you're trying to say here, but I don't agree because this, and that like, it's gonna hurt something or it's gonna be hurtful. So you shouldn't be doing that. You should be at least, I don't know what it was like something about hiring people or firing people. It was like, it was totally up for firing people. It's like, you can fire, but you have to like be a person and they can have a family and stuff like that. And he talked back to me. It's like, you have a point. I didn't see it that way. So be that kind of person, like be interesting, add something to the conversation. If you don't add something, you're just another one in the crowd. So you have to have a mind of your own. Another thing that you learn is if you follow someone, you learn that maybe they're not the ones that you want to follow, because maybe they're like, they do something, they vote in someone that you don't like, or they do something else, or they're racist, and you wouldn't follow someone who's like want a racist to share something of yours, right? So it's good to first of all like follow the person and understand how they work and how they do stuff and see, and after that stuff will happen. Like if it's interesting, you create a relationship, like we both created a relationship with each other, and we met each other on offline in the real world, and we talk about some other stuff, and I don't know, 8 months later I'm here. It wasn't right away, I didn't ask you anything. We only talked about a lot of times to come in here and be on your thing, but
yeah, I think
it
it
would
took me
happen.
a few pitches.
It would like either way. You have to want it. It wasn't. If it was me just pitching around you, it wouldn't be interesting because it'd be like, oh, what do you want to talk? Or now I have to have questions for this guy or whatever. You had to find out it was interesting to having me here, right? So it's the same on Twitter. Like they have to find you interesting to be around on their circle. So.
Has Twitter been a big source of growth for Nocotery, or where have big sources of growth been, especially after like initial launch?
It started on Twitter and still is for a lot of approval and a lot of stuff, like how we test the content for a new course, where we launch new features or where we test new features. Going to be on Twitter first, on the No Codes community, and that follows me and that I follow. But the biggest one right now, fortunately, is a search engine, direct links, and Product Hunt still is like one of the top 3. The posts that I posted on Product Hunt, like I don't know, almost a year almost a year ago, still give us a lot of traffic.
Wow. So people find the product post and from there they end up finding Nocotery. Is that also via search engines, do you think? Like the product hunt ranks well? And
it does rank well. Yeah, it does rank well. Probably it's from there and from stuff that I posted along before and my participations on this Monday thing. I like to go there almost every Monday and just share my point of view on the new startups. It's like, okay, most of the time it's like product things like, do you have a market for this? Do you test it on users? Or did you do something like that? Like trying to be the devil's advocate and try to pitch them around and see if they're like solid and ready to launch the stuff. Like if you're posting there, either you're launching soon or you're trying to prove something. So I'll go there to help them out.
And then they probably click into your profile and also find Nocotery that way as well.
Yeah.
Is
but like I said, it isn't. It's a thing that I like to do. It's not a thing that I do to get more people on Nocotery, because most of the times other founders are not the people that are going to buy a course. Like they already have their startup, they already have their product, they already built something, so they're not changing the stack. So
you might get them on the next one.
If they're serial.
What do you think about when it comes to like devs versus non-devs and no code? Who are your users more, or is it both?
Yeah, it's both. I see it as a growth thing. I get a lot of people that couldn't learn code and failed on every code course, and they like real setting, like, is this thing gonna help me out? And will I get something out of this? It's like, yes, we have a lot of people that didn't learn code, couldn't make a single Coursera course or Udemy or something, and this is the right place to start. Like if you buy a course, you're gonna start with a dollar from 0.0 into an Instagram clone. So you'll get something and you don't need to know code. The thing that I learned is when you get into like, you go start with a dollar or Glide, because those are the first ones, or those are the easiest ones to start building apps. And then you go into Webflow, and then you get Zapier into Webflow, and then Airtable, and it's like a lot of stuff. And then you go into Bubble, because like there's a lot of learning on Bubble, but you already learned some of the things that you need for, like, as a programmer. You need to learn logic, like how you connect stuff, what are actions, what are collections or databases, how you connect stuff from another table to another table, so a collection to another collection. So you're learning how to code, even if you're not if you don't have the idea that you're doing that, you don't have the notion that you're doing that, but you're learning how to code on your head, you're getting the logic there. And that's the hardest part on coding. It's not learning a new tool, it's getting the logic on your head. That's the hardest part. So I learned is when you get into a level of no code where you like have clients and selling stuff to your clients and doing in a dollar or doing it like connecting stuff on Webflow, you understand that now you're getting a lot of work and you want to optimize again. So when you want to optimize, you see that like Bubble does a lot of stuff, and you just need to learn a small bit of JavaScript to do something, to do animation, to connect something, to do webhook, and then you learn webhooks, and then you learn JavaScript, and then you grow into low code from there, and you go to Mendix, you go to Appian, you go to OutSystems and stuff like that, and then you grow to code. And it's a way to learn to code. So I'm not against coders or programmers or pro anything. It's like if I'm pro something, it's like, if you want to learn code, start with no code and then grow from there. It's like, start with the logic, because that's the hardest part for someone that is like a lawyer or a teacher, or because they learn a lot of stuff. They went to college and formatted their heads into learning something else, not the mathematical logic of programming. So
look back, really how I learned too. I was using like the old Adobe like website builder, and that was my first foray. I thought that's how you did it, and then after a while, I learned, oh, it's a bit easier if you just start editing the source, and then from there it was all downhill.
Yeah.
You mentioned also in our chat a couple weeks ago with Lewis that YouTube has been a big source of growth lately for Nocotery. I was wondering if you could talk about your strategy there or where that growth is coming from.
Yeah. When we launch a new course, we have a teaser for the course that like says what's the overview, the program of the course you're going to learn, or what's the outcome of the course. And they put that on YouTube because it's free and you get some sort of there. So I started to either, as I said, I have some knowledge of YouTube metrics and how SEO on YouTube works. So I inputted some keywords and tried to optimize that and the title and the description and stuff like that. And I saw that I started getting some people from there. It's like, since I have the live chat and the metrics on Google AdWords or Google Analytics, understand what's the source. And I started to test it out stuff like, if we have already the full course, let's do a teaser of the first episodes and put it on YouTube. And then I saw an increase of people coming in. So I decided to put the whole course on YouTube, but just the first minute or minute and a half of each lesson, and do a playlist with that and just share it on YouTube. And you can imagine the amount of people that find out that as a course and see that you have the lessons there, so they get the value of the lessons, they get the value, understand what's the progression of the course. Like, you get first install, go to Wadalo and create the thing, and then after that you have the collections, after that you already have the view, but you don't get the in between. So you get that teasing part, increasing hot lead, because you get interested, you get interested, you get interested. It's okay, I'm gonna buy this shit, I want to get into there. So that's how I found out that it works to get people. And I already got people on the live chat saying like, I'm taking the course on YouTube. It's like, that's not the full course, man. It's like, really? It's not the full course, but that is all the modules. Like, watch more than one and you'll see. It's like, oh yeah, I have to get the course. It's like, ping, Stripe saying that we had a sale. It's like, done.
Kind of goes back to the philosophy of, you've put a bunch of stuff out there. Okay, the shit's good, I want more.
Yeah, but don't be like in your face or punch in the face. Be open. Like, we don't have anything on the videos. Like, it starts as the normal regular module video, and that at the end has like 2 seconds or 5 seconds of a splash screen saying, get the full course here. It's like that, done. You don't even have to get to the end. You can skip it around and just go and see all the lessons there. But there's the value there. It's like, you get a lot of value out of one minute and a half videos. So
what's the current like game plan look like for Nocotery? What are you planning for the next like 6 months to a year?
So the game plan right now is to get more courses, and we're working on that because we understood that's where the interest is right now from people, and where the money is really too. And we're growing our growth path is going to be on referral. We started already some referral, and you already have one promo code for that. And we're gonna, after that, we're gonna do referral for the teachers first, because the thing is, they get 60% out of each lesson or each course sale, and that's not really enough for the teachers. Like,
promo. For the people whose ears just perked up at promo, I'm going to share that in the chat, and I'll share it again later, and in the YouTube video description. So yeah, what do they get for the promo?
They get $5 discount on any course that we have there. So, and the course that we have there, the new one, Yeah. The new one, the bubble one, will have the first 2 lessons this weekend there. So if you if you pre-order that one, you get 5. Not only you get the pre-order discount, you get the $5 discount. It's like $9.90 for a full bubble course, and then you have already 2 lessons this weekend. So at least that's what the instructor told me. That's the promise.
Nice. How long is this code good for?
For 10 uses, but you can increase that
10 uses.
if it's like it's infinite. 10 uses. Yeah.
Date.
No expiration date. Yeah.
Awesome.
We don't like expiration dates.
Me
Doesn't
neither.
have value. It's like it's a fear of missing out. It's like, yeah, use it when you want. Like, I don't really care. Just enjoy.
So code is worldwide, and the course is in the chat, and I'll share it later in the Slack too. So you're moving more towards like no code education, and when I think no code education, kind of the big name in the space is MakerPad, I think. And how do you view them in terms of competition? Where do you think they fall short, or where you can be competitive there?
I know that they're competition and they're like really big and bigger than us. I see as a paradigm is like the Apple, Android. Hey, Luis. I see it as an Apple Android dilemma. It's like MakerPad is the Apple. They're closed. They're a community. You have to wait until you get in. Now they're opening up all the entrance, but you have to pay to get in, to be there, and it's like to get the whole community, the whole thing, the whole experience, the whole MakerPad experience, like a closed system like Apple. And I see it as the opposite. It's like the Android. It's like an open system. You don't have to register anything unless you want to buy something on Nocotery. You have a lot of content there for free, a lot of tutorials on our tutorials that we scrape around the internet and put there. You can see all the job offers there for free. You don't have to log in to see anything or register to see anything. You just have the only 2 things you have to do to register, like if you want to buy a course and see the course, watch the course, or if you want to apply to a job board or a job offer. That's the only 2 opportunities that you have. It's like after that, just totally open. Anyone can come in and go out and enjoy.
Is there anything you feel like MakerPad is doing really well?
I think they're doing really well. The community part, because they onboard the people and they help them out. It's good for someone that doesn't know how to start or where to go and where to pick it up. They're really good at that. It's like, oh, we have these like 5 tutorials that you learn how to pick up, and then after that we'll help you out with your idea and guide you to the next tool and or next tutorial and what to do and stuff like that. That's really good. They're doing really well. The thing is, you have to like pay a lot up front to get into there. It's like, I don't know, it's like $500 or something.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
It's super expensive to get in there. It's like,
it's quite
if you want to do something on no code, or you want to do something and you're like gonna do it lean, are you gonna start by buying that instead of buying a course and you can take it over a weekend for, I don't know, $15? Like, there's another option. That's what we do. It's as the super expensive courses online, super targeted, and the Udemy part. It's like we're the Udemy for no code. Like, and just go there, buy a course, do it yourself. And if you want to create a course, we're open to it. So just come to us. We're gonna help you out doing that. We're getting really good at that.
How does your content creation work? Is it you guys making the content? Do you like find people that are experts in a certain tool and bring them in?
Yeah.
How does that work?
As the advertisement worked, I cold call everyone that I know or everyone that I see. I put online ads asking for people to, if they're interested in teaching people about no code and making money out of it. And then the last time I did something, I tried to do is Facebook thing, and I got like, I don't know, 30, 40 people.
You're welcome.
30, 40 people interested in making courses, and it's like 3 of them are creating courses right now. So 10% of that. So good conversion rate. Thank you for the tip, man.
So the original plan for this chat was for it to be kind of a 3-man panel, but Lewis is late.
Sorry, guys.
So
I had some issues. I tried my best to get here.
No problem.
But if you don't know Lewis, he joined us for our last Q&A a few weeks ago. I just posted the recording from that meetup in the chat if you want to check it out. And he was also part of the Portuguese startup scene and helped get Gonçalo on here today. And is going to be helping us.
And by the way, the only time I was with Gonçalo in a room, I was also with Anthony in the same room. It's kind of weird because we kind of talk like on and off. I think I talk on and off with Gonçalo and also with Anthony, which is kind of insane.
Lewis is the glue of our relationship.
Yes. The matchmaker.
Yeah, I set this up, guys. Don't worry. I will set something up for Anthony. Just name me names like Jeff Bezos, just Gonçalo.
Yeah, get us Jeff Bezos. That'll be a. So you just mentioned you.
Go ahead. No, just saying that.
Lead on Jeff Bezos. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I was saying that last time I was here, people asked me about the startup things, ecosystem in Lisbon, and actually a lot of people are moving here, like SaaS owners. I'm not going to name names publicly, but some I will name names in private to you guys. But we're having some people moving into Lisbon with the quarantine, with remote work. I feel like this might be like a good option for the future.
I've seen a lot about people like moving from Britain, like looking to go to like Spain or Portugal, other parts of cold Europe, trying to get over to Portugal.
So
since they can't really go anywhere else and want somewhere warm.
Yeah, I find it weird when they come from the USA to Portugal. I don't know. No offense, Anthony. I just find like, they're hiding something, probably killed someone in the USA, making like a backstory. I just find that odd.
That's a strong accusation, and I definitely have nothing to hide.
Of course.
So have you guys seen a big change in like Lisbon with coronavirus and with like kind of the lifting now some restrictions from that? What is the lay of the land right now?
You want to go first, Luis?
No, you go first.
Well, sorry, my cat want to participate. She loves to be on camera. My work has been fully remote since May. So I've been working at home since then. On the lifting thing, we're on the second wave right now. So the second wave, it's going to be getting harder and harder every day. I don't go out at all. It's like I go to the dentist with a lot of care and come back at home. It's like I order everything online, go pick it up just on the center, on the parking lot, and go back home. It's like don't get on a bus, don't do anything. It's like even my company wanted to start to. I'm a product owner on a big company here in Portugal. It's like old-fashioned company. They want everyone on site, and when they want everyone working there, and like community and people and everything. It's like no one wants to get there. No one. Like everyone's scared about it.
Well, as opposite to Gonçalo, I cared about Corona during the quarantine. Now I'm not an anti-masker, but I'm definitely like, God damn it, this is getting boring. So I made a meetup the other day to try and meet new people in tech. And well, I talked to Gonçalo about this, but meetups are kind of like hit or miss. So you kind of meet some interesting people. Sometimes you don't. Mine went fine. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing more people going out and out while the second wave is coming. Because I feel like people are stopping to care about the virus. Especially because it's not something like if people were, bleeding out on the streets, people would be like, whoa, this is pretty insane. But since it's kind of invisible, I think people are caring less and less. And I think, Zoom doesn't translate well to relations. I mean, I work remote, so I'm like alone 9 hours a day. And then I also live alone. So I'm kind of like, I feel like this is the beginner of the Joker movie for myself. I'm kind of, I'm kind of trying to measure things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How is it, Gonçalo, balancing a full-time job with also NoCodery work and other project work
And family.
and family?
And a sick cat. So it's crazy shit. It's like crazy. Like as Rosie put it on Twitter, and the other is like, you have 8 hours to work, you have 8 hours to sleep, and then you have 8 hours more. So you just fit it up on those 8 hours.
I have a question for Gonçalo. Like I also dealt with this. Do you prefer to work before or after work? Because I feel like this is like the civil war of makers. Like some people prefer to wake up earlier, but some people prefer to wake up after, like for to work on the projects after, like the work. What's your opinion?
I don't have a schedule. It happens when it happens. Since I'm remote and I'm product owner, I don't have to stick with a strict 8-hour plan. I can be on and off without any problem. And I have trouble sleeping, so most of the times I sleep from 4 hours to 6 hours in a good day. So I like sleep 2 hours, wake up. Most of the times I pick up my phone and start putting ideas on notes, or if I have something that I really want to do because I dreamt about it or I just can't sleep about it, just go to the computer, put it down and go back. Or I have midnight calls with United States or stuff like that happens.
Same.
I don't have a schedule. I prefer at night after work because I don't like to work in the morning. I hate mornings. I'm a night owl. If I could, I would start at midday and go to sleep at 4 a.m. and fuck it. Sorry for the language. But I'm a night owl, so I prefer after work.
After, yeah, we always talk after midnight here. I think mostly it's like 1 a.m. messages. I'm just messaging Gonçalo like, hey, listen to this. You need to go on to this podcast. If I can call this a podcast.
Just watch the sunset behind you too.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I feel like time zones are really, that's like a problem I don't think technology will solve, but that's like a really boring problem. Like I feel like if we were all in the same time zone, like things would move much faster, like the world itself. Like it's very like, I mean, I'm working for like the United States right now, and so I kind of like a crazy schedule, so I'm only there for half the day, which has advantages as well. Like I can work, there's not so much busy work, so I don't have like bothering me all the time, which I feel like Gonçalo probably knows a lot. Once you're like a product owner, like people will bother you with every, like you need to reject meetings and stuff, or else you just go insane. Because if you take everything, you're always going to be on meetings.
Yeah.
And so I like the period where in the morning the US is still asleep, so I'm working on the things for the company by myself. But I definitely think like time zones are very like a hard problem to solve. Like there's a lot of people trying products, but I'm not sure if that's going to work.
Yeah, Sony tried that a lot of years ago with the internet time and stuff like that. It didn't have any time zones. Everyone had the same number on their watch and stuff like that. It didn't work.
You still have to convert to your own time zone in the end in order to figure out what makes sense for you. And it also removes like the ability to know what a number means for the other person. Like what does 10,000 mean for them? You don't know.
Yeah.
8 p.m. makes sense. You know that it's evening and they're probably not going to answer your call.
Or not. Like I feel like remote work is kind of like, I'm not seeing a lot of tools trying to solve like the big problems of remote work. I feel like, yeah, we have Zoom, but that's about it. Like name me one tool that came out of like the pandemic that's really making like a big stride to be like a top tool. I feel like we've kind of missed out on like a big innovation period, or maybe there can't be innovation period. That's my fear, honestly.
In terms of like the pandemic stopping innovation?
Yeah, like once the pandemic started, I feel like 500 people made like these apps where you can, I don't know, say to your co-workers that, hey, you're doing a great job. Like that's the simple stuff. I feel like the really hard stuff, like to solve how people are working remote, that's really hard. And I feel like that would be like I work remote, so I feel like that would I would like to see some improvements there, but it's definitely very hard. Like
I think it's the starting of things. It's like a lot of companies, as the company that I work to, as old-fashioned 3 floors of people, full of people, like every day. Most of the time they're on like water fountain talks and stuff like that. And they were against remote work. We had 2 people quitting the company in January because there weren't any solutions for remote work. And all of a sudden, everyone has to do remote work. Everyone has to buy Zoom. Everyone has to get Teams. Everyone has to learn how to have a microphone and a camera and Zoom backgrounds and stuff like that. It's like, that's the start. Because remote work for a lot of people was something on 10 years from now, It's like, there will be a revolution for all remote work. Nowadays, there's a lot of companies that weren't about that and didn't talk about that. I can say like names a couple of them. Like Siemens wasn't remote work. You could have one day per week or 1 day per sprint. So
But that doesn't what does that unlock? Like the thing is, for example, I work for a company in the USA. But go ahead.
Just let me finish. Siemens didn't do that. OutSystems didn't do that. Nokia didn't do that. And nowadays, Microsoft didn't do that. Nowadays, they're all remote first. It's like you get remote until you get the vaccine or gets on the green or everyone gets. And then after that, we'll see if remote works because all the work is working unless cars and stuff like that. Like, there's not much cars going around. There's not the things that would the old-fashioned way that didn't sell online and stuff like that. They're losing clients. They have to grow too. They have to learn some stuff and start selling online. But all the companies that do tech work, they need a laptop and do stuff like coding or marketing, online marketing and product management and stuff like that. You don't need to be with the people. You just need to learn how to connect with people over the internet or over a camera. It's a new skill that you got. And I think this is the start. It's like, yeah, but this is like a jump start for it. It's like, boom, now everyone has to learn how to do this stuff.
Not sure. I think there's a lot of market inefficiencies that keep the world together. I feel like a lot of for example, I talked with a lot of managers and they've just realized I have some employees that do nothing. And I just realized now during the pandemic when I was giving out, tests, because if you work remote, it's much harder for you to escape. You can be in an office. I've worked in an office at an insurance company and let me tell you, 90% of the people there didn't need to be there. I was at the marketing department at the insurance company. Trust me, those people don't need to be there. That's kind of the thing. If the world goes remote, there's going to be a lot of unemployment. Just because, people will realize in a very clear way that some jobs just don't add anything. This is true for a lot of the world.
Or some people just doing nothing, even they're on the same floor as you. It's
they're just reading.
They spend the day on Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not the remote work that make them not do anything. It's them. They don't like where they are, or they don't like what they do, or they just bought a chair and get the paycheck at the end of the month. So.
No, because even with remote work, productivity went up. Even with all this craziness that you said about Zoom backgrounds and all that, productivity went up. And people need to realize that if the productivity went up and we spend nothing, because think about this, if you don't spend money on an office, but basically you guys are at home, you're spending your own electricity if you're working. So that's pretty smart. Companies are basically outsourcing the cost to the employee itself, which if you think about it, it's kind of bad, but it's actually smart for the companies. So I'm curious, if there was a company that could boost the productivity of remote employees even more, that's an insane value. They could be the next, Shopify or next Zoom, something really, really big.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. It's that's going to happen sooner than later because there's a lot of more people looking for remote work and looking for places to work and bigger houses and stuff like that because they need a space to work.
Would you leave Lisbon if you had remote work forever? That's the question.
Yes. I already thought about that. I'm here this weekend and not on my girlfriend's beach house because my cat is sick. Otherwise, I would be there since Thursday. I would spend 4 days there and 3 days here.
Okay. What about you, Anthony? Would you go to like the most remote place just for remote
Well,
work? Sorry?
I'm mostly by internet connection, right? But I've been working remotely for the last few years and using that to live in different places. I just recently moved. I stayed at my parents' house for like 6 months during the pandemic, and then recently changed locations to Mexico. So yeah,
You're in
I would.
Mexico right now?
Yeah, I'm in Mexico.
You're
Sorry,
definitely
the background doesn't look Mexican. You need like a yellow filter, you know.
I thought Mexico looked a lot like the rest of the world, but here's what Mexico looks like. If you can see.
Yeah, looks like the rest of the world.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Regular street, yes.
But
Yeah.
actually, I think like Lisbon, if Lisbon had like Portugal had like some tax incentive, Lisbon would actually be a pretty good city for a digital nomad. Like you're in literally like almost the center of the world. Like you can work for the rest of Europe in
Yeah.
Lisbon, or you can work for the US. Like you can, yeah, you're gonna have to do some adjustings with like your employer on the US, but you can. Like it's possible. Like I do it. I know some people who do it. It's definitely something that's doable. And yeah, I think like a lot of tech hubs could come out of this. Like imagine if any of us want to do something with Anthony while I was in Lisbon, that would literally be like a Lisbon startup, but it would not be from people from Lisbon, essentially. Like it'd be some kind of.
I
I'm
can
curious.
give the example of Nocotery. Is like me and my co-founder. We live, I don't know, a couple of kilometers away from each other, and we never meet. Like we just work remotely. We just do a Zoom call, and like, what are you gonna do? Let's do this. Let's do that. How's the metrics? How's the stuff? It's like, or just the call. It's like, oh, how's it going, or whatever. It's like we don't need to meet to do stuff. It's like he understands what's the part he has to do. I understand the part that I have to do, and just connect together. It's like done.
Are you finding
Yeah,
it harder to make the Nocotery time now? That everything is happening in the same place, or is it basically the same? Or what strategies do you have for that?
Yeah. Usually I change rooms. I go to NoCodery. I go to my living room and I work from there. Or if I spend the day on my living room, because my girlfriend is working from home too, and she has a lot of meetings too. I come to the office at night and work there. Or if like I want to spend some time with my girlfriend while she's in the kitchen or something or doing something, I'll pick up my laptop and go there and work like nearby just to get to the two stuff together.
I have a
Yeah.
question for Gonçalo. What was like the marketing strategy that you thought it would work very well but didn't actually work?
For NoCodery?
Yeah, if you want to talk about that.
Marketing strategy that didn't work. Paid advertisement didn't work. It was a flop.
That's pretty hard to do, yeah. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. I've worked there on paid advertisement 10 years ago. I know you have to have a lot of money and a lot of metrics and a lot of work on there. Yeah, hard job, guy. Hard job. That didn't work, and we had features that didn't work. But yeah, the other marketing stuff that I tried is like either communities or posts or partnerships. Most of the time, stuff like that, and that really worked. So any partnership that I always look for the right ones. I don't go for everything. I've got a lot of people asking me to get their tools or get their courses for referral money and stuff like that, and I always say no to that. It's like I don't do referrals. If you want to pay to be upfront here, yeah. Because if you go, at least that's my opinion, if you go referral on a thing that's showing like for the tools, it's like it would be really fast a billboard of the ones that pay more and not the value for the user. So if I want to bring value to the users, I want the users to come back and to learn stuff and to see new stuff there. The referral is going to be hard for me to get the money, so I'm going to work the metrics to make it work. So I'll be looking for ROI instead of value for the user. So most of the times those guys just quit and don't come back. And I offer them stuff like, you can put tutorials here, you can give us your videos and we host them for free, and we can work out for a course, or I give them a lot of options, like, or you can pay for an advertisement and try it out for a month, or stuff like that. You understand? It's like, it's marketing. It's still marketing money. Either you're giving it away for a sale or you're giving it away upfront. So if you understand marketing, how at least the basic marketing is, it works for companies, there's always a marketing budget. So I always leverage on that. It's like, I don't do that. If you want to do the other way around, let's try it out. And then if it works, we can go your way. But most of the times they're just looking for referrals to like hard sell stuff for them. It's like, I don't like that. So
because I think they're appropriating like methods from other industries. Like for example, on no code, I feel like a lot of it is about building communities. Like I definitely think like that's the big thing of no code. But on other industries, like they focus a lot on the hard sale. It's like you're selling supplements online, like anyone would buy them. So you just do the hard sale. It's easier.
I've been learning a lot about product-led growth and product-led value, and that has taught me a lot about how you can sell more by marketing less. It's like having loops and having growth loops and having stuff that brings value and make them come back.
But that's not really marketing less. You think it's marketing less? I think it's just a different form of marketing. It's like you're doing features that allow you to grow more.
It is marketing less. You're spending more time on learning how your users work and learning how you can bring value to your users instead of how to bring more people with less money. It's still a part of marketing, but it's more focused on products, more product led. So your product needs to be better, needs to freaking do something really well, or otherwise people won't do that. Because like you can add like badges, share buttons, referrals, promo codes, you name it. Like the whole shenanigans, you can put it up, like the whole startups that did it. If you have a good product, no one is going to share it. No one's going to do word of mouth. No one's going to do anything. So you have to really worry about how to bring value to the user. So
I agree. I also, like, that's my work. I've seen that a lot of people don't do shares anymore. Like, for example, I was talking to this guy. He worked on a very big website, and they said like they implemented share buttons, and this like website that got like 200,000 people per month. And he said like, we have literally never had anyone share this. And it was like, but it was stupid. It's like a hospital website. Why were you having like, who wants to share like, I have my colonoscopy
I have an
in 2
appointment.
weeks. Like, why? Like, this is kind of
my appointment here.
Yeah. But it's I think that's true.
It depends. Like it's not magic. It's not because you implement share buttons that magically people is going to share. It's like, oh, share button, of course I have to click there, otherwise I'm going to lose something. No, it's not. It's like crazy people like it's, as you said, like an hospital having that, or imagine like a funerary or like coffin company. Like, why? Look, I bought this company. It's coffin. It's like white. Awesome.
Yeah, of course. It's not
get
something you want
5%
to
discount
share.
on this.
But I think like explain what a growth loop is. You brought that up, and not everybody might know what it means.
Okay, so a growth loop is when you have an action, or you get a new user on your website, and then you have an action that brings value or do something, and then send the value, and then they share that with something or someone. You have that share part, and then goes back to new user. So that's usually 3 parts of a growth cycle. Usually, what the growth growth model, a good growth model would do is hook that on the hook model. You know the hook model? When you have the trigger, and then you have the trigger, you have the action, the user has an action. I can share something there in a bit. And then you have the unknown reward, and then you have the back to the user. So if you connect both together, you have the new user that does an action, then have a value, then goes to the trigger, then the action again, and then back to the user. So
Do you have an
get
example
more
with
value.
of a loop that's worked well?
TikTok has that. Let me find. I was studying that like an hour ago or something. It's really, really cool. It's not this one. It's this one. I can share this one. And you can see on the examples down here, the TikToks, like the user sees the viral TikTok content and drives to the download the app because the videos are everywhere. And that's one of the things on the hook model. They give you the opportunity to share the content. You can download the TikTok and put it everywhere. Why you do that if you want the people there? So that's part of the hook. It's like part of the value. You see something, it says TikTok video, you go like, what is this? I need this up. And then you go there, you see the videos, you share a new video. If you share video, you get the reward. The reward is like likes and shares and people liking you. So you go back to, oh, I'm awesome. Then the trigger again, I put another video and then it's going to be shared. And it's like the infinite loop there.
So what's the difference between TikTok, who gets people to click the share button, and funeral service, who nobody is ever going to click that button?
With the funeral service, you have to understand the hook of the people. It's like the hook is that's out of my mind. I'm trying to figure out how the growth loop would be for a funerary. So I would think about like if you have someone near dying, you'll need a coffin, or you have to understand your targets, like people dying, right? Or people with weird stuff that needs a coffin at home or stuff like that. So you'll have to find a way that people would see value in that, like on having a coffin right now and getting a value out of it. And like, why would you share? It has to be like either you have coffins as Simpsons couches or stuff that would be shareable online. It's like, look at this coffin of this guy. Like he has the black guys from the meme, you know? Either have stuff like that, like a funeral with the meme guys, or a funeral with something shareable, and then you get back people, like you get your name on that, like the funeral gets the name, and then people go there like, I like that stuff. Maybe I'll buy that for my father. I don't know, maybe my funeral is going to be fun. And then you'll have to understand how people work there. It's like, I don't think it's fun is going to be in a funeral, but it's a hard one.
That's kind of like the pirate acquisition metrics, right? It's acquisition. It's like AAR, like acquisition. Then you
but that's
convert.
The funnel. The problem is there you have a funnel, and then just on you have the retention, then you have the referral. The referral is just one way. It's just
growth loop is kind of like you want to kind of viralize everything for the process. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, this one is when your product does that work for you. You put it on your product. The part of it, your product that works gonna be there or has to be there. So the pyrometrics is good. It's like the basis of this. But the pyrometrics goes a lot of it, SEO, marketing, social media, stuff like that. You have a lot of on the top of the funnel, and here you don't care about the top of the funnel. You care about how you get more people on the loop.
I think like this is just my opinion. Probably like you'll agree, especially like we that kind of do niche products. So it's not like we're going to do a mass market. It's not like TikTok that anyone is the target market. Like basically anyone that downloads apps and has a smartphone is a target user. I feel like as we build niche apps, like I feel like sometimes these models kind of confuse people at first. It's like they think they should get like 1,000 people on the website, when in fact it's really hard to get like users. So even if the model works on a smaller scale, you need to be like kind of need to be aware, like, is this really working, or is my market really small? Like that's something I've kind of dealt in the beginning when I was dealing with growth. Like you go at the analytics and then you realize, oh my God, my website is not a success, or something, people don't like it. That's like a really hard question. Like you need to look at a lot of data. Like, are people returning to the website? That's usually I count my project as a success, like as return, like how many returns I have. So if I have like above 30, this is pretty good.
I have a friendship breaking game to play. Lewis, if you were gonna market Nocotery, what would you do?
I would bet on content. Like Nocotery is pretty good on content. I think I would invest like all my time in content basically. I would say like I would go into, I don't know, for example, I would go into subreddits, specific subreddits, and I would say like uh, I would go into like stocks. How do I build like a stock tracker with no code that anyone can use? Boom, that's done. I would go into like a subreddit about trucks. I would go, hey, you want a trucking company? Here's how you can track your trucks with like a no-code app. And you do it like this, and suddenly you're getting new users, which no one is getting. So you're like kind of creating new customers out of thin air. But this is hard, by the way. Content is really, it's like it's hard to make scalable content. I found like it's really bad. Like it's really fun to write good content, but then you realize, okay, 3 people in the world will find this interesting, and I don't know who they are. So it's hard.
It's kind of like the risk you take with building any product, right? Like most of them are going to be flops, but 1 in 10 is going to be a huge like driver of growth and revenue for you.
Well,
I feel like this is the same with content, like maybe 10 blog posts totally fail, but one of them is front page Hacker News or gets retweeted by somebody big, and suddenly you get a large traffic spike. Like a lot of things on the internet work this way.
You think so? I think we shouldn't like think like that. Like in terms of, we shouldn't write 10 blog posts and one goes well. Like for example, I think all the blog posts I did, like they kind of went, they had varying degrees of success, of course, but like none went like terrible. Like I feel like you kind of need the feel of your audience. Like if Gonçalo had like a week to write everything good, he probably could write like 5 viral articles. So, like you kind of have the knowledge. It's just really hard to adjust to like the communities. I think like if you're writing for Twitter, you need to have like a small content like in threads. If you're writing for Reddit, like you need a lot of long form content, which is really hard to write. And then like if you're posting it on Hacker News, like you know it, Anthony, like you posted the same link twice and it had like completely different reactions.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of a bit of contradiction then, right? It's not like you put out content and nobody ever reads it. If you put out good targeted content, then it can do well and drive new users and be like a scalable strategy. Scale limited to like
if you're doing like if you're posting like the fundraising stuff on Kids Party blog, it won't work. So that's
a long-term strategy.
Exactly, too long. So you as Louis said, it's like you need to understand your audience. You need to understand where they are, how they think, what they like, what they dislike, and either you go either way. Either you go with them or against them, and just provoke them anyway.
Have you what have been your like big content wins so far, Gonçalo? Or
I had the ones on Indie Hackers, the ones that's really wasn't expected to me, because I was just putting my heart out there, just like giving something to the world. Like I did this and this worked this way, and I hope it helps someone. There's like already have like 10 people reaching me out privately saying, "Oh, I used your technique." It's like, that's not a technique, but okay. And really worked and stuff like that. It's like I got my first clients because of what he said there. It's like, awesome, cool. And it wasn't really planned as a content that would drive traffic or I would post anywhere. It's like, put it there, post it on Twitter, post it someplace else. It has like 5 likes, I think. It wasn't one of the ones that had more comments or anything. I got a lot of more. There's like or something like that has a lot of more traffic, a lot of more traction. That one really brought value to my users or my followers.
The one tweet got me builder and Adelo as customers one.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that link is already in the chat.
It's like really long title.
Are they coming in from Indie Hackers website, or are they like coming in via, they Googled builder, then the Indie Hackers post came up and then they found you?
Those ones come from Indie Hackers. Either they followed me there or they're just Indie Hackers and search there, just find that. I got a lot of people from another ones, like a really not well-known company like Low Code that did something about no code, the content piece for no code, and then pick up anywhere because it's just like gibberish. And then they put a link for you can find jobs. And it's like for Nocotery. And so I noticed I get a lot of people from there that then don't buy anything. It's like they're just reading and clicking on the links and then studying when it works. But like no one on the no code world shared that anywhere.
Are your customers already kind of in the no code world, or are you their introduction to the no code
Some
world?
of them were at the beginning. Nowadays they don't. They either find that through one of these talks that I'm in, or they found out on partnerships like Webflow World Tour. We were partners in there. It's like get a lot of traffic from there. So it's like people that are interested or entering in no code, and either they go to one of those online meetups or they go into those conferences from one of the tools and then find out Nocodery and go there, and then it's just like, oh, I can learn here, so I'm gonna buy. So it's like most times are newbies right now. Not they don't know anything. They know a little, but they want to learn more.
Kind of goes back to what Lewis said about writing like targeted content. It would be a good match then, since you're already kind of positioned for the newest users, and that's going to be your newest users, people who aren't even necessarily heard the word no code before. They just want to do a thing.
Yeah. We were working on something like that. Like we're thinking in doing a pop quiz first, so you can like, I want to do an app that has login and has Stripe or does this or does that, and then you have tutorials linked to that, and then you'll have like courses, or you go somewhere learn about the tools, but still didn't have the time to put it up. There's a couple of content before that I want to bring to the site, and then probably work on that. That will only work if you have more courses. Otherwise, I'll be bringing people that doesn't have the courses to buy. So,
what are your like current ambitions
for Nocodery?
Yeah, for Nocotery or your life in general.
My life in general, it's getting a product manager job at least in a company that's like has really product-led stuff and really works on product. Doesn't have to be in Portugal. It has to be remote. I'm trying it out in like everywhere. See how it goes. I would love that. Other thing on Nocotery, I would love to, I don't know, be mentioned somewhere. It's like be. I'm not really ambition on Nocodery. Is like I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun in like finding people, understanding how no code works, and how courses and people learning a lot of doing stuff like the products from the courses they make and they show me out and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. And I can test stuff that I learn online, like the product growth that I'm studying it. I'm thinking in ways in implementing that on Nocodery and then making a study out of that. It's like how this worked on Nocodery, like how we increase something with Nocodery, or usually that comes out as a testing for me as a product person. So I would like to test and then put something on like, oh, I learned this didn't work. Like I want to do a blog post sooner or later about a feature that we had and we just stripped it out and no one noticed it. There's like a huge feature on the website. No one noticed it that was missing.
What was the feature?
Exactly. It was the experts part. We had like a big list of experts that you could, we made another feature upon that, to upsell that. It's like you could have a premium or a pro version of that, and you could have leads from there, and you could sell your work from there, and you can have like communication with clients, stuff like that. It just flopped so hard. We put up so much time on that, and didn't work. And just like one day I woke up, it's like, I'm gonna strip that out. Just told to my co-founders, like, look, I'm gonna just take it out of the website and just see if someone complains about it. No one complained about it. No one. It was like a fucking huge tab. It was on the website. Nothing.
How did you meet your?
You had analytics there, like you saw people going there? Like,
Sorry?
is it, you had like people going, like you saw in analytics, people going, interacting? Because those might be like silent users.
People went there, people tried it out, people I went through the ones, because I started this feature with a survey to the experts that we had, like a survey understanding what their needs or what they wanted, if there were like a lot of people that were selling freelance work or had agencies and stuff like that, and how they would work and how much they would pay and stuff like that. So we built a feature on that feedback. It's like, okay, they need this, we're going to build this, and then we put it out and test it out with some of them. It's like, oh, it's really cool, it's really cool. Let's test it out. Let's see if it works. Let's see if people want to do it. So it's like silent. It's like, oh, do you want to buy it? Oh, if it does this, if it does that, if it does that. It's like, we already have this, and this is what you wanted. So if it doesn't work, let's just get rid of it and see what it works. We still sell courses, so doesn't move the needle. Didn't move the needle at all. So okay.
How did you meet your co-founder, and how do you guys split up the work?
We worked together at a company before. It was the one that, the one before. No, the ones we work in. We don't work together right now, and we really got along because we have the same kind of humor. So we always go back and forth with messages. Oh, look at this meme, or look at that shit, and stuff like that. So, and he's way more a coder than me. And we did this one like hackathon on the company that we worked together, and we worked together on that hackathon. And I really like the way that it worked on the hackathon. It's like a real do it and let's see how it works then. It's like really simple, put it out and test it out. It's like, and so we were aligned on that. And when I started Nocotery and I wanted to grow, I was like, this is the guy perfect for this. It's like, I approached him. It's like, I have this is the website, this is the idea, I want to grow into there. So I'll need this in that feature, and be responsible for the whole technical part and all the development. And I'll be responsible for the product. So I'll understand what the users want, and you'll build it on one or another. I don't care if you build it well or not. I just care if it works. I was like, okay, let's do it. Like, we split 50-50. And it was that.
Thanks. Lewis, do you have any more questions?
Let me think, because I talked to Gonçalo in private, so I know some things you guys don't know about NoCodery. Yeah, that's right.
Careful.
Yeah, of course. But I'm curious, like, more about NoCode. Like, do you feel like we're going to create like a community just based around NoCode, like kind of the size of indie hackers? Like, I feel like indie hackers is kind of being consumed by NoCode in a way, of course. Like it's not just the NoCode posts; it's the people who are posting on the other channels are NoCode. Like, for example, when I posted, all my stuff was NoCode, even though I didn't label it NoCode. But I was telling, like, I'm building tools.code, and this is how I did it. Like, do you feel like there might be like a possibility, like, of a very, very large community? There are still some small ones now, but
There are some small ones. There are some people like the guy Josh JT from No Code Founders just like released a month ago No Code Founders 2.0, and it's a paid community, and it's like huge. It has everything. It's like, as I see it, it is building it to fail. I know that he made like 6K on the first month from subscriptions. It's like, you need a lot of content there. It's like you put everything on that community, like tutorials, perks, companies, like the whole 9 yards. Like as I said, we tested out stuff on Nocotery that we had to strip out. So I don't know if he tested everything out. I don't know how he did that. I know that the Slack was like really dying. Like only 10 people or 20 people on that Slack was really active. So a community, you need to be like every day there. You need to put up the work to be there, and then if you put up the work, it might get something or it might not get something. So it's really niche as a no code. I think it's going to be indie hackers or product hunt or somewhere like that that's going to absorb or have like a big community as no code there. But a no code only community is going to be big as Reddit or big as product hunt. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think there's also stages, right? Because like in the beginning, you're no code. Like for example, me, I was very interested in building stuff with no code. Now I'm just interested in building bigger stuff. Like I don't really mind no code. Like I have some capital now. Like if I need something coded, like I can get it. It's not like I feel like that's kind of problem with no code. Like there's no like highway to the end of no code. It's just kind of like no code is a road, and people just take exits all the time. So we're always leaking. Like no code is kind of something that's reinventing itself. Like people leave and some people go in, but you always leave in the end.
No code, it's just like Laravel, a framework, or I don't know, some coding frameworks. Like you get it there, you understand that. It's like, and afterwards you'll either evolve there and sell that and like be a Laravel developer, like a NoCodery or a no-code professional, or you just go to somewhere else. Like it's not going to be a thing as makers or indie hackers. At least that's my opinion.
Well, we're getting to the end of time. Any closing words for us?
Yeah. $5 discount on the chat. Get it.
Yeah, I'll share that.
Shameless self-promotion. No, like for real now. Just wrapping up, as you said on the first questions, like if you want to do something, it's like be sure that you want to build it for 5 years or 10 years. Don't build it for the money. Build it to do something. Build it to, at least for yourself. Don't build it to get money and stuff like that. It's like that's the wrong road to go, and test a lot. Awesome. That's one of the things for NoCodery is like I really have to put the work to have something, and nights, sleepless nights, and like to get $5.
Cool. Thanks so much for being here, talking to us. Louis, thank you for joining too, late as though you were. And yeah, looking forward to seeing where NoCodery grows and just staying in touch. The YouTube video will be up probably sometime in a few days, maybe next week. And you can look out for that on our channels. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you for the invitation.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Please catch a cat for me and tell them to feel better. All right.
Bye, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, see you.
Good luck to your cat.
Thanks.